Mute. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever in the world you are. And it's so good to be here. My name is Hitesh Bhatia. I'm a past life regression therapist. I'm also a shamanic practitioner. I've learned shamanism more for my own self than practicing it. And currently I am working with the shadow side and learning to work with that. I think I'm an accidental therapist. I think most therapists are accidental therapists. It's not a career we choose by passion. It's a career that suddenly dawns upon us and says, oh my God, you need to be a therapist. And I'm here today doing what I love. I love talking to people. I love being with people. And I love telling people about, I love making people aware about alternate healing. I think early in life, I understood that sharing is caring. Unfortunately or fortunately, it was forced upon us in our kindergarten times. But it really stayed with me. And I'm here to share what I've learned. In the lockdown, we created something called Joining Hands, which is a beautiful platform to create awareness about alternate healing, to bring to people different modalities, understanding of different things that they go through in their life and how they can heal with that. Today is the first series of the HB show. It's a show where we talk about alternate healing. We bring about the awareness of alternate healing, and we just have fun. And the way this show was inspired was for those of you who have happened to watch or hear this program called Satyamev Jayate, which was by Amir Khan. And it was about bringing together and bringing stories that normally are not brought to light and busting the myths that media creates for us. So it's funny because this is Satyamev Jayate meets the Kapil Sharma show. I thought Satyamev Jayate was too serious and Kapil Sharma was too light. No base to it, just a lot of banter without anything. So this is the busting the myths, but also bringing in the laughter, the joy that Kapil Sharma show brings. And what better way to do this than to do it with friends? I think with Joining Hands, we've made so many friends and met so many amazing people. And we said, let's bring them together. So this is a very fun format. Imagine three friends met in a coffee shop and they started talking, and talking led to insights, talking led to socializing, talking led to awareness, and talking also led to a little bit bitching, aisa hota hai, kind of things. So I would like to welcome two dear friends on stage, and I can proudly say today I have met both of them in person. If I had done this show yesterday, I would have to say I've met one of them in person, but today I can proudly say I have met two of them in person. I have met Indrani in Rishikesh in the shamanic retreat. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful retreat. Indrani, do you know, this was the same day I saw the memory by children pop up today.
Yes.
It was today.
You saw it too, right?
Yes.
So mystic.
I know. Yes. And it gets even more mystic. When I invited Anu to the show, I said, Anu, you have to come and I have to do this with you. I had never met Anu, but my bond with Anu grew closer because my father, who passed away a little early last year, had left behind notes. And while we were clearing up his books and everything, apparently he had attended workshops by Anu. So I opened the books and I'm going through the books and I see here Anu Mehta at Health Library, and he's taken notes of his interactions with Anu. And interestingly, I had dinner with Anu last night.
Yeah, so it was very nice. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you so much. But it was so, we never thought that, we're going to have dinner a day before we do this show. So that to me is truly magical. So Anu and Indrani, a warm, warm welcome to the HB show. And thank you so much for taking out the time to come here today. So there is no format. We're just three friends who've met at Starbucks and we're talking, and that's how it's going to be. So Anu, yaar, bata yaar, kya chal raha hai life mein? That's how it's going to be.
चल रहा है, मतलब इतना कुछ चल रहा है कि ऑफलाइन और ऑनलाइन में काफी पिटाई हो रही है, और कोशिश यही है कि जस्टिस हो सके और थोड़ा कुछ बैलेंस आ जाए, बस यही चल रहा है.
I know, yeah. Matlab, I remember, when COVID hit and we were all like, array, now we have to do things online. And then we realized we can do things online by just wearing a nice shirt and a jacket and wearing pajamas or boxers below and sitting over here. And no one will know. And, and then suddenly now, when we're all getting used to working in our PJs, we get another googly. Now you have to do online plus offline. And you can't only embrace offline, because now we've got people across the continent who wants to really, see you and do work with you. So Indrani, I have a question. When we learn this whole business around disease, and I know you are a therapist, you also learned, and we've discussed so much at our Rishikesh retreat. But how was your experience, and when you came into this world and someone told you that, why do you, when you learned, why do you really get diseases? Why do diseases happen to all of us?
So, Hitesh, it's a very interesting thing you say. What really got me into clinical hypnotherapy was my second lung. So I had a partial lung collapse in 2005. And then for all the care and everything that went along with it, I actually had 2 relapses when I was in Dubai. And this is where I was following every rule under the sun the doctor gave me. So I was like, this is not making sense. And it happened to be a Friday. As you know, that's our weekend here, used to be. And I was told about this program on integrated clinical hypnotherapy. And what pulled me in was to understand what is it that's the metaphysics behind a disease. I wanted to know what's the link between my lungs and which emotion or thought pattern I needed, or belief or rule of life I need to go into. And now when I look back, it was, I think, in my level 1 with Yuvraj, I remember coming home and telling my brother, okay, you know what, this year you give me all my gifts in cash. I just want you to pay for my course. So I still remember Rakhi, Diwali, Bhai Dooj, Puja, birthday. I said, everything, just give me the cash. I want to pay for this course and I'm going to do the whole thing straight shot. Now when I look back, 2008 was when I did it, and this is 2022. You know it. I quit corporate in 2014, and it's just been full-fledged practice. So my lungs, I'm so grateful to my lungs, because it's my lungs that made me go there to look for what is it that's making my lung do what it does. And today I have so many little experiences and big experiences I've gone through, that when I do body work or work with people who have a particular disease, I'm like, guys, I know what I'm talking about. Look at me, I did it, you can too. So you remember, even when we did the whole program at Rishikesh, going for whitewater rafting, your body is perpetually listening. So yeah,
True.
That's what got me there. Yeah, I'm so grateful to my lungs.
Thank you so much. So Anu, you've done so much work with Joining Hands, and you are the one who really taught me about my Disney classes. I'll never forget you for that. The one day we were doing this, and you suddenly said, do you know wearing glasses is a disease? And I was like, oh. When you play Jenga and you have that one block where your entire world is resting on, and you build belief system, and you pull that one, that's what you have done for me. So the whole belief system came tumbling down. But I know with all the work you've done with Joining Hands, you have this beautiful knack of breaking up every word, which is, a disease. And of course, we all know that disease is dis and ease and everything. And I fell off the chair when I was told that glaucoma has ma, and so how did that really happen? When you look at any word for a disease, so how does I don't know. Was there someone who said, okay, there's a disease, let me name it? Or was there, and then I really don't know that. So do you discover a disease and name it? And how do you really name it? And how in the metaphysical space do we really break down that name?
So I want to first acknowledge you for inviting me, and not just that, calling me home. And I was telling him I don't go home to anyone's house, because it's a bit too much. It's overwhelming. And especially online, offline, I had to wear all my clothes to it. You know what that means. I didn't know whether I should be in salwar kameez or jeans, or what is it that's applicable or not applicable. So I played it safe and I wore a salwar kameez. And then he says, beer piyogi ki kya piyogi? Bola main spiritual dikhaun ki kya dikhaun? So it's very difficult to know what's going to come first and what's going to come next. And over here, I really want to acknowledge all my mentors who have been very kind with me. They taught me and they gave me Jadoo ki chhadi. And who are these mentors? These mentors are not just the people who taught me. It's every student that came into my life, everybody who came into my life, and I'm extremely grateful for what they did for me. First, they showed me that it's possible. And when I say it's possible, because I was someone who couldn't spell things properly. I didn't know spellings. I was teaching at Indrani Sinha College, and I would make mistakes all the time. My board had more mistakes than what I was talking. It's because I didn't even know I had a learning disability. I couldn't figure out what the words were. And words would really jump. And that's what really happened when people were talking about, I can't read. And then there was this whole fat book of meta health, which just would jump in front of me and run. And then I had Dr. Kwesi, who sat down and said, do you know? I said, what? Her disease mein kuch chupa hai. And he, with his authenticity and whatever he talks, he's always managed to inspire me to look beyond and to look deeper. And when I started looking and I started making my inability an ability is when these words suddenly made sense. And I do say this, it's not a vocabulary that you will find in a dictionary, but then I found it in the dictionary. You go in the dictionary, you pick up any word, any disease, and you need to look at two things. One is the form of the disease, because in the form is the information, which means we're talking about lungs. If I don't even know कि किधर हैं और कैसे दिखती हैं, तो मुझे कैसे पता लगेगा कि ये सही नहीं है? जैसे कि मेरे को अगर मुझे ये भी ना पता हो कि मेरे हस्बैंड का चेहरा लगता कैसे है जब खुश है, तो मुझे कैसे पता लगेगा कि वो उदास है? It's from the face that you pick up the information. Similarly, it's from the body part you pick up what's the information. And the second bit was the spellings weren't just made for nothing. आपका नाम अगर हितेश रखा गया है तो कोई रीजन थी, किसी ने रखा, उसे इतनी न्यूमरोलॉजी करते हैं, उसमें 2 A 10 E डालते हैं ना,
right?
ऐसे ही डिजीज का नाम कोई ऐसे नहीं हुआ था ना. There was a reason. And if you go back into the dictionary, there are Latin meanings of everything. You can keep breaking it down, and so amazing. It feels like कि मैं क्यों dictionary खोल के सिर्फ ये देखूं कि it changed the way you look at the thing. And you realize, oh my God, there is a whole khazana sitting under these words. There's a whole khazana sitting in the form. And that's how the journey of breaking the words began. Thank you so much for that question.
But give me an example, Anu. I want an example. Pick up anything. Pick up your favorite.
चलो ठीक है, आज मेरे पास एक केस आया था. It is to do with the eyes.
Okay.
I may not be saying the right words, but it was ending with itis.
Okay. I-T-I-S. अब आप itis का meaning निकाले dictionary में. All of you are there. Go into the Google and pick up itis का meaning क्या है. Itis का meaning है inflammation. Abhi now let's break the words. Itis is the way I want it to be. My way or the highway. मतलब आप stuck up हो गए हो कहीं पे. Not just in what and how you want things, but also in your image. I want me to be perceived as a spiritual person, तो मैं तो beard पी नहीं सकती. I need someone to look at me and say, oh ये बहुत अश्लील नहीं है, तो मैं strappy कपड़े पहन के मिल ही नहीं सकती. We have these fixed images in our head, and we have fixed image also around the disease. It's like when you're looking at it, it is the way I want it to be. Then you go and look at rigidity that you're having in your system, and let's look at what's inflammation. Inflames. In का मतलब अंदर. Inflammation. T-I-O-N is action. And flame. You are feeling in flames inside. What is that flames about? Anger. Flame means what? आग लगी हुई है, तुम आग से कुक नहीं कर रहे हो, अपने आप को जला रहे हो. तो अंदर ही अंदर जल रहे हो, क्योंकि चीजें आपकी वैसी नहीं है जैसे होने चाहिए. अभी आइस का मामला था, चलो आइस को ब्रेक करते हैं. EYES, E plus yes. आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है कि हर रोज सब लोग आपको हाँ हाँ करते जाए. ईगो आपकी बहुत खुश होके वहां पे खड़ी है. आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस है
और आपकी ईगो साथ में काम कर रही है, and you want things to be just your way. एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है? और जब हमने ये केस ब्रेकअप किया, एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या थी इस लड़की की? इसकी दादी माँ बहुत ही डोमिनेटिंग है, एंड उसकी दादी माँ ने उसको कभी कुछ करने नहीं दिया जो उसको करना है. सो ओवर कंपनसेशन for what she has not got. She is in anger, in flames, and she wants things to go her way. Now parents have separated themselves from dadi, but वो दादी की छाप तो रह गई ना. 16 साल दादी ने उसको करने नहीं दिया कुछ भी, और उसको यही समझ में आया कि मेरी मॉम को खुश रखना है. एक्सपेक्टेशन इज आई मस्ट कीप माय मॉम हैप्पी. तो थोड़ा सा ब्रेकअप आपको यही बता रही थी. And today I've just started with that case, but what's interesting, we love having a baby. मतलब अगर हमारी जान निकल जाएगी, आंखें अंधे हो जाएंगे अब, पर हमारे को हमारी करनी है, चाहे फटती हो. And that rigidity that we have in ourselves लेके जाएगी यहाँ से, खुशी से नहीं, गम से. So that's where I use the short notes. Thank you.
Thank you. So Indrani, what we're trying to understand, and this is for everyone, is it that we manifest our disease, or is the body giving us a sign? No, ye ho kya raha hai? I mean, I think that's the question that we're all trying to figure out, that what really is happening. I mean, I feel like a little like Arnab Goswami, but I think this entire nation wants to know that what the bloody Arnab Goswami, and Indrani is from Dubai, so of course we're in a virtual coffee shop, but Arnab, Goswami is like this journalist in India who's
I've heard of him.
Oh, fantastic.
I've heard of him.
It made my job easier. Yeah, but he's like this. I mean, I don't want to be anything like him, but he's overtly aggressive. He ends every statement with "the nation wants to know." So that's his trademarks. And I'm sure here the world wants to know that why are we falling sick? Yeah. I mean, COVID's impacted us. Why are we really falling sick? What are we not doing right?
So if I go into what you started the question with before Arnab joined the question, was something that very interestingly we experienced when we did Life Between Lives. So when the soul journeys between lifetimes, so it goes somewhere. So wherever it goes in the spirit realm, there is to cut it short, there's one stop in that journey where you've done the rest of it, and then you come to one point where the soul goes to the life selection room. This is a very interesting experience which I've had when I did my LBL, and then I keep seeing clients go through it, and it's very fascinating. So some tell us that they have chosen bodies to that degree of what they manifest in the body, whether it is something they're coming along with, whether they'll manifest it down the line, and it is in that conflict they create, which was somewhat like what Anu was saying. There's this flame. I love the beautiful way you put it. My Hindi, of course, is no way close. I'm not even going there. Hitesh knows that. So it's literally creating conflict. So now here's a soul, which is in its script, pretty much chosen that I'm going to have this hitting me down the line. At each stop, this is what's going to happen. I will obviously now, with the ego mind, not know how to deal with it. And I'm going to create a lot of turbulence and just a lot of drama, and I'll go through it all. But the soul's doing all of that for a particular lesson to kick in, a certain awareness to kick in, which is why when that awareness does kick in, and that's why people say that, I've had a very interesting case. This was a lady and a daughter who had, they were visiting Dubai. It's the daughter who was actually doing therapy, and the mother, after hearing what the daughter was experiencing, said that, can I book in a session? And so I said, sure. But what she did was she booked a double session, literally back to back. And we worked on her kidney stone. So my only information was what I gleaned from the daughter in the daughter session. For the mother, so it was literally like, I said, yeah, sure, we will book you in. And what was interesting is when we talked to the kidney, so much opened up about her soul's learning, because that's when the soul consciousness could speak And the ego mind allowed that awareness, that conversation to happen in a space of acceptance. What was just so amazing is, so the lady goes back and I get this message, is it possible after a session for the stones to go away? And I'm like, have they gone? And she says, yes, this is so weird. I've gone, I've done my test, and the doctor has said there aren't no stones. So obviously something's happened, and she must have peed them out. Now, when we think about this, what was it, if I look at it from your question, the soul went through a lot of things. The daughter acts the catalyst to open this access for her to do something which she did with me. So I'm also for her pretty much a channel or a catalyst that she as a soul manifested for her to go through what she did with me. But look at the readiness that when that learning, that awareness, that closure came, her body is so beautifully allowing something to happen. So does the soul go through this script and create it? Yeah. So today, there are things, Hitesh, I was told in 2005 I wouldn't be able to do, which I do. So I'm speaking, I'm literally walking my own talk right here. Yeah, and when Dr. Anu was so beautifully explaining, I love the words you use, they were just so nice. I was like, yes, I so get what she's saying. So yeah, the soul's kind of got the story. It's us and our dramatic desires of the ego mind, which plays all these games out. Ankita's laughing away.
Yeah, so it's fun because I think I didn't know you did your regression hypnotherapy in 2008. Now I feel like a little bacha because I'm like only 2 years in this space and I have two mammoths sitting in front of me who've done so much. But and this is I also come across a lot of therapists or healers or people who are just interested in this space. Now I get that kidney stones, cancer, blood pressure are all longer diseases. But what about things like diarrhea, dysentery? Now, we look at it very simple. So, I've had pani puri on the streets, which you're not supposed to eat. Everybody's been telling you don't eat pani puri. Yeah. So, Anu, what would you say? Would you say this is a disease that I get? I must have fallen sick with the common cold. I'm 42 right now, maybe 42 times, or even more. So is that a disease? Anu, you're on mute. Sorry, I think you're on mute.
Let's look at your cold.
I'm a guinea pig. Oh God, why me? Okay, okay.
You said that.
Fair enough. Okay,
let's take. ऐसे ठीक है ले लेते हैं.
चलो ले लेते हैं. मेरा ही ले लो.
मेरी
ही ले लो. अब मेरी ही ले लो. चलो.
नहीं हो रही है तो. Last time when you had your cold, when was that?
I had a sore throat last week.
So did you have sore throat or are you talking about cold?
I had a sore throat, which, yeah, I was sniffing, but it wasn't like a terrible cold, but I was sniffing.
Okay, so when was it?
Nose was watering. Yeah, sorry, nose was watering.
When was it last time?
Oh, maybe a week or 2 weeks back. I think 2 weeks back.
So,
2 weeks back.
Normally, what do animals do when they are using their nose? Good. So there is what in our language I call is a stink conflict going. Something that wasn't going your way. Remember, it is not my way. Something that is constantly there in your house, maybe in your space, and that is not going the way you want it to go. And when it doesn't go your way, you feel separated. क्या है मेरी कोई बात ही नहीं सुनता. And this is very stinky. Maybe. तो कुछ याद आया.
Yeah, I am the drama king of my house. So I'd have probably done all of that for sure.
तो मतलब ये है कि अगर आपका डिजीज बार बार आ रहा है तो आप अपने डिजीज के साथ रह रहे हैं in the form of your wife, your husband, your child or whoever. और ये जो irritations हैं हमारे, वो those are just like she said, kidney speaking. The nose is telling you, अला मैं कुछ तो ठीक नहीं है, कुछ तो ठीक नहीं है. अभी हितेश तो देख लेगा क्या ठीक नहीं है, तो sorted problem. I hope I was able to.
Oh, yes, I have to keep smiling. I'm on camera, so I really can't express anything.
I just want you to know there are many words like wellness, and ness means smell. Ness means smell. Everything. There, Ankita has gone and sneezed. And that is the next step. That means something she sorted out right now. And she's doing, okay, I understood. Achii, it's gone.
So you release.
जैसे नाक के अंदर कुछ फंस जाता है तो आप क्या करते हो? मैं तेरी नाक के अंदर ऐसे खुजली करूं तो क्या करेगा? थोड़ी you let go of that, and with that you let go of something that was not going okay in your life. Either you accept कि ना मेरी बीवी मेरा बच्चा ये उसकी डिमांड है and मेरे लिए वो जगह सेफ नहीं, so I need to do something about creating that safety. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम ये एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते, वी वांट टू चेंज द अदर पर्सन, और खुद को बदलना इतना मुश्किल है, लेकिन हम तो खुद के दूसरे को बदल के ही रहेंगे, बस यही प्रॉब्लम है.
Interesting, very interesting. So, Indrani, you spoke about life between life, and it's very interesting. I'm very fascinated with life between lives. Now, how would you say, why would someone manifest to be terminally ill or something like that? Because it's death, right? I mean, I'm born, and what we're taught about life is created, and you want to really enjoy life, and you want to live life, and here you are terminally ill. So how would we look at that?
All right. So
sorry,
if you're born, you're going to die, right?
Yes.
That's
but I don't want to get sick and die. No? I mean, I don't want to like suffer and die.
So why did somebody choose to, if I have to exit, I'm not exiting. I'm just hanging on, and I'm obviously going through pain. And I'm also possibly creating apparent pain or suffering for people around. So first thing I'm picking up here is conflict. There's a sort of conflict created. The things that I've noticed with a lot of the cases that I've seen is, if a soul is perceiving that I have to expiate a certain debit credit imbalance, and I'm choosing a particular lifetime, I'm choosing a body story, and I will expiate whatever I have to expiate to balance my debit credit book, and I'm going to do 4 lifetime, but 1 lifetime mein khali karte hain. So I know I'm making it sound a bit funny, but it kind of does add up like that. So you come along and you create certain patterns, and it's ye organ, to kya, wo organ, or this issue or that issue, until you come to a point where you know that what you got is apparently, it's not going to get cured, and you're going to go away, you're going to die. But you're going to go through X number of months or weeks or days of apparent suffering. Now, suffering, we all in this space, I think, already know that suffering is actually a choice. Suffering is when your ego mind fights what you're possibly at that moment experiencing. So you create a sort of tug of war inside energetically, and then that's going to create a whole lot of apparent suffering. So there's emotional suffering, mental suffering, and physical suffering. Now, in that suffering, you may involve others also. Right? So now trauma is taking on a few more layers. Yeah. Then you go through this whole ego key. Once I leave, how are they going to manage? If I go away, what will happen to him? What will happen to her? And then you want to drag that out even further. So a lot of times when we have clients reaching out, or even friends reaching out, what do we say? Just gratitude, forgiveness. Maybe even if you feel he or she's in coma, isn't listening to you, just keep saying, I'll let you go. It's okay. Move on if you have to. The dignity of not having to go through whatever pain. But this whole pain thing itself is a choice, right, Hitesh?
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Right? So if that person, that soul who's chosen a particular lifetime to go through X number of hours, minutes, seconds, or whatever he or she is intending to go through, which is why a lot of times you find people who've been through months and months of like really sticky stuff, and then suddenly exit is very quick. And you're like, अरे जाते वक्त तो मतलब time ही नहीं दिए, he or she just out. So my understanding is that means you went ahead and did your debit credit balancing. The auditor said books are done. It's all good. Sign, stamp, seal, poof, out.
I like the debit credit. हो गया, हिसाब खत्म हो गया, अभी full and final settlement हो गया. Notice period पे थे.
Because kabhi you do that, na? Auditor aake many years ka story is being looked at one shot.
Yeah.
And which is why you've seen people who've had pattern lifetimes, where in one lifetime you keep seeing them go through one particular issue in multiple ways with multiple people or multiple environments and such, right? Why? Why isn't apparently a very intelligent person or a very erudite person cracking it? Maybe they just want to clear a multiple lifetime debit credit story. So in the body, then one organ heals, the other organ pops up. Then the other organ heals, other organ pops up. The soul saying, guys, we had a deal. We've got to go through so much of stuff this lifetime. Let's wrap it up. Don't do this. But that's how the whole conscious, subconscious, superconscious, your soul conscious, all of that plays out, right? Drama to hum bahut pyar karte hain. We love drama.
And I think we love drama. I love being drama king. I mean, I can never.
So then you bring the drama into your body. And then your body, oh, poor thing, just has to go along.
Yeah. Very interesting. So I have two more questions for you, one for Anu, one for Indrani. But we have a lot of people who are watching us live, Anu. And what will be fun if we can pick up 3 diseases. We can do like a quick on the chat. You can send it to me on message on the chat. We'll go with popular demand. So, and then we'll take questions. We'll do 2 questions, 1 or 2 questions. But, if anybody has any diseases, those who are watching us live, any diseases that you want Anu to tear apart, it's going to be so much fun, And this time I'm not saying the disease because I don't want to get caught up in that. So Anu, the question for you is, Anu, is this pattern same for everyone? Or, like a thumbprint, is every disease? So if it's, you mentioned a disease, Indrani mentioned lungs, kidney stones, you mentioned cold. Is it, or you mentioned inflammation? Is it the same for? Is it like one size fit all? Ki har ek ka alag alag angutha chhap, like we have different thumbprints. Can it vary as per culture and race also, or geographies also?
So very good question this is, and we see it a lot with adrenal fatigue, where if you go to places like Denmark, you often find that people over there are suffering a lot more from exhaustion, that is adrenal fatigue, than in India. What's the difference? In India, we have a family. तुम्हारे को कुछ हो जाता है तो तुम्हारे पास माँ है, पापा भी है, फैमिली भी है, और बीवी का काम क्या है? आपको पकड़ना, आपको संभालना. मतलब वो तो understood है. Right? So we have so many people to fall back on. We have a community that is not so prevalent in because of the lifestyle is different. So people are very alone. और जब अकेले होते हैं तो सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये आता है कि हमें survive कैसे करूं? ये अकेलेपन को कैसे survive करूं? It can be very tiring doing everything by yourself. दूसरा, अपनी कंट्री के अंदर ही बहुत कल्चर्स हैं. Why do we have to go anywhere outside?
True.
So when Pakistan, India बंटवारे हो रहे थे, people had to leave everything and go again. We spoke about it yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and diabetes means dia means दो, and betis means मेरा घर permanently दो में बट गया. अब मैं वापस नहीं जा सकता. I can't fight it. I can't run away from this situation. I don't know how to deal with it. People are traumatized by this, and the next generation will carry it. And why is that? Because our unsorted programs our kids come in our life to carry them, our pets come in our life to carry them. क्योंकि पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे यार, और जब तक पिक्चर खत्म नहीं होती है तब तक ये डिजीज का पागलपन भी बाकी है, कुछ कंप्लीशन नहीं हुई है और वो कंप्लीशन शो कर रही. Why is it that people in South don't have so much of diabetes? क्योंकि वहां पे इसका इम्पैक्ट उतना नहीं हुआ. ये हो गई आपकी 2 डिजीजेस. ठीक है, अब आप देखिए, लेट्स टेक आर्थराइटिस. आइटिस आ गया फिर से,
एंगर, इन्फ्लेमेशन. ठीक
है, अब in India, I used to sit in the exhibition and I used to look at women walking in. And invariably, after 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, मतलब bone problem है. जरूरी नहीं कि आपको आर्थराइटिस, बट लोग सीधे चलते ही नहीं है, स्पेशली विमेन. क्यों? कूली बना दिया है, दुनिया का बोझ हम उठाते हैं. तो यार उठाते उठाते कभी तो नीचे रखोगे. हमारे तो ये कहा जाता है कि नीचे रख दिया मतलब तुम केयर ही नहीं करते हो. तो मतलब ऐसे कैसे यार, उसके हस्बैंड ऐसे मतलब गया को अभी वो टिक्की डाल के चल रही है, कैसी है? What am I talking about? We don't just carry our disease, we carry the expectations of our culture. We carry the ego of our culture. We carry the ethos of our culture. And कैसे पता लगे कि तुम इंडियन हो? क्योंकि इंडियन की भी एक छाप और स्टोरी है. And that is why, yes, this question is extremely valid, that we do carry our culture, not just anywhere, but also in our skin, in our hair, in our bones, everywhere. कहते नहीं है कि साउथ के लोगों के बाल बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, नॉर्थ इंडियंस की ये चीज बहुत अच्छी होती है. तूने कल कहा पंजाब और पंजाब मिलेगा तो खाएंगे, मतलब क्या? That's an expectation. So our expectations are very responsible for how we will deal with our disease and how we will progress with our disease. How we saw the thing is not written in a book. It's written in our subconscious. And this subconscious is coming from our ancestors.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Anu. Indrani, my last question. And I love this question. You know, it was so interesting that when I was listening to Anu, it kept on brewing in my head and I said, I have to ask it. You know, I have a friend who keeps saying marriage is bliss. You know, he keeps saying marriage is bliss. And if he ever watches this, he's going to hate me because I brought him up for this. But I feel ignorance is bliss. I mean, and this is a common, a common dysnoma, common argument my wife Rosina and I have. Rosina will say, हर साल में test कराओ. And I would say, मैं क्यों test कराऊं यार? मैं तो ठीक हूँ, मैं तो हट्टा कट्टा, मुझे कोई problem नहीं. I have no problem. So why should I need, but doctors keep telling you after 40, get all your tests done. Get this test done. If I am ignorant about my disease, will it impact me? Is ignorance bliss? Or if I don't care about it, how do I deal with it? I mean, there's just so many questions in my head. I hope you get what I'm saying.
So if I've got you right, then my answer to this would be to find a balance, Hitesh.
Okay.
What I mean by balance is you can't be completely ignorant, not in the world that we live in today. So if someone's saying I'm completely ignorant, I'm going to take that as a bit dodgy, not possible. We have some bit of understanding, may not be such detailed ones. Now, too much of intellectualizing something doesn't help. This is my thing. And I think for all of us who are therapists, we have a brilliant ability of doing this. We're so good at it, right? We listen and then we read and then we talk, and then we carry on. It becomes pretty intense at times. So if you ask me, I like a balance. Have a basic understanding. Even when, say a client comes to me, right? For me, it's very simple. Come, let's talk to your body. Obviously, they what do you mean? I said, come, we're going to just talk to your body. Because sometimes I feel if you can cut out that chatter and those layers of so much of intellectual, overwhelming information load that comes on, you can kind of deal with things better. I'll give you an example. So in our home last year, we had one round of COVID because my elder brother, he had COVID.
Right.
And then this year I had COVID, and then I tested positive, like I continued to test positive. So there were a few things I did. Number one, I really didn't listen to anybody or read the WhatsApp stuff that's been floating for the last 2.5 years. I honestly haven't. And it's not for any other reason, because my understanding is when I need anything, I will call the health authorities, my doctor, and I'll take it from there. I will take care of the basic requirements, but most importantly, I will keep my life condition high. And I'm not going to give in to listening to news all the time and da-da-da. Why? Because I don't want that overload. And when I'm looking back at the last 3 years and how life spanned out for us, I just have only one word: blessed. So you're going to say, so Indrani, you're pretty ignorant, that means, about COVID. Yeah, maybe I am. I'm not denying it, because initially when I got it, I was like, guys, I think I have a variant. And then I said, no, I think I have unicorn. And these guys are like, it's not unicorn. You're such a dumbo. You get what I mean, right?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that I didn't really laugh it off. I did find my own balance, but I was always asking my body, what do you want? So I do this practice every day, morning, evening. What do you want? How are you feeling today? So I'm not, I know I'm a Bengali and I'm supposed to be super fond of spicy food, but I'm not. You remember that. I was always looking for the bland stuff, right?
Yes.
So when we have very spicy food, I actually do this to my tummy. Tummy, I'm really sorry I've had it. Can we like just be peaceful about this? Instead of looking around for Reni or any of these antacids and stuff. I actually do this with my body. I ask, I talk. And if my body says, I don't want this, yes, I don't want it. But I'm not oversimplifying it. I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is that this overload of information, I don't think always helps us. If we can find a balance, it would be better.
I agree with you. I think my belief has been, if you break a bone, don't sit and say, why did I break a bone? Go to the doctor, get your bandaging done,
That's
and
a
then come back.
no-brainer.
Then come back and deal with it.
But then Hitesh, it's also true here. If you remember when we were doing our last round of talks, we have been very lucky and blessed here, very fortunate here.
Yes.
I've heard so much of all that's been happening back home. And every single day it was like, gosh, we guys are like so blessed here, so blessed. So maybe I wouldn't understand it so much as what you're understanding, because you've kind of experienced it's experiential for you. And for me, it's kind of theory and all of that. But having said that, again, I say that too much of information. Nah.
I agree with you. I think I concur. I think it's interesting. I think ignorance is important. You can't really give into it, but you can't be ignorant. You have to find the balance. And if you see a pattern, then it's definitely important to look at a doctor, but along with the doctor, also work with a therapist.
Yeah.
So that you end the pattern. You deal with the illness, you deal with, there's so much, and it's two different spaces. On one side, we have modern medicine who thinks alternate medicine is bad. And then we have a lot of alternate therapists who say modern medicine is bad. I think it's about finding the balance. I think science has given us a beautiful tool. The diagnosis that we can do, the medicines that can help, but it's not only there. If the body is really giving us a sign with the disease, I think we need to really do the entire 360-degree work with the doctors, and also do your energetic work to have the absolute balance. It's been so fantastic. I wish we could go on with coffee forever, but we will take one question. If anybody has one question that in the audience, Ankita, is there anybody who has just one question we can take?
If I may ask one.
You need to put your video on. We're not doing questions without video, and know that we're being recorded. We'll not
Sorry.
Yeah.
I did not realize it.
Yes.
So am I audible now?
Yes,
This one.
yes, to us. Hi. We'll just take one question.
Maybe if we can get a help on how do we deal with issue of constipation.
Oh, lovely. I think it's, who would want to go? Indrani, Anu, who do you want to answer that question?
Anu's going to break the word first, right?
Okay, yes.
I'll wait for that one from you.
I was just about to ask her, okay, Anu, can you please disintegrate constipation?
So, yes, Subhas, right?
Suhas.
Suhas.
So, thank you for that question. And constipation and loose motions are two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Okay, so invariably people who have constipation also suffer from diarrhea at times. And somebody who has not ever got out of constipation, then they really need to look at their environment. And yes, I will break down the word for you. Constipation, but before that, where is this shit sitting? The shit is sitting inside the intestines. Let's break down the word intestine. In, test, I-N, and E. E is all about my expectations, my ego. And where is it? I'm testing myself constantly. Where? Inside. Inside where? Deep inside my subconscious level, where I'm testing myself and my acceptance by my family. There's something going on at my workplace, or there's something going on at my home where I'm constantly, constipation, T-I-O-N is action not taken. I'm constantly cut pasting the same action again and again with my relatives, where I'm testing myself and testing other people. Tu sachi mera hai, tu sachi mere liye khada hai, tu nahi khada hai. Irritation is more happening at home. You need to check out what's the irritation that's happening at home, जहां आप अपनी shit भी बाहर निकालने को तैयार नहीं है, जहां आपने अपने आप को इतना इमोशनली सप्रेस कर लिया है कि आपकी शिट भी बाहर नहीं निकलती. It's we talk about let go, then this is the biggest let go that we have to learn, to let go of our shit every day. Because अच्छा है, कई बार बहुत अच्छा होना अच्छा नहीं है. आप ऐसे कीजिए, थोड़े से कम अच्छे हो जाएं ताकि लाइफ आसान हो जाए. I hope I've answered your question, Suhas.
You did, but then
Yes.
yeah, but then if that issue is from young age, teenage.
बिल्कुल सर जी, जाके देखिए कौन डोमिनेट करता था आपके ऊपर बचपन में, किसने आपको वो करने नहीं दिया जो आप करना चाहते थे.
जी, ओके.
हाँ जी, तो क्या है ना, वहाँ थीम फॉर्म हो गई. अब हम बड़े हो गए तो हमने सोचा कि दूसरे तो हमें अलाउ करना चाहेंगे, आफ्टर ऑल आई एम अ मैन, आई शुड बी अलाउड टू डू. पर होता यह है कि हमारे जो सिस्टम में हमने पैटर्न्स क्रिएट किए, वो सिस्टम में हम पैटर्न ही नहीं बदल पाते. कहीं वही रास्ता, वही कांस्टेंट पैटर्न. सो कॉन्स्टेंटली कट पेस्टिंग एंड टेकिंग द सेम एक्शन. क्या कहा कि अगर किसी की हड्डी टूट गई है 4 जगह पे, तो उसने बोला है, डॉक्टर साहब ने कहा कि आप दूसरी जगह पे जाके देखिए, शायद आपकी हड्डी वहां से ना टूटे. हम कॉन्स्टेंटली सेम चीजें बार बार इसलिए करते हैं बिकॉज देयर इज सो मच ऑफ सुख इन फेमिलियरिटी. हमें नई चीजें करनी ही नहीं आती, और फिर हम दूसरों को कहते हैं आप बताओ. उसको आप यू आर द स्पेशलिस्ट एट योर लाइफ. अगर आपकी शिट बाहर नहीं निकल रही है तो समझ लें आपने कहीं अपने आप को इतना समझा लिया है कि मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन मैं अंदर रखूंगा, मेरी तकलीफ में अंदर रखूंगा. and you're cut pasting and doing this all the time. ऐसे है, खुल के जिए, क्योंकि पता नहीं जिंदगी के कितने दिन मेरे आपके और सबके क्या है, हम जीते ही नहीं हैं. हम तो
जब आप बता रही थी कि find out there can be an authoritative person, I could relate to that, but then how do I deal with now?
Yeah, so that
this सालों की प्रॉब्लम है सर जी.
इतने
सालों की प्रॉब्लम है, थोड़ा तो वक्त दें. जल्दी में है तो एक ही चीज कहूंगी, find out from yourself what is it that you can let go of.
Okay.
And find out from yourself what is a new thing or a new way that you can go about it.
Okay.
और इसका आंसर सिर्फ आपके पास है. और अगर वो तरीका आपको पसंद नहीं, तो इसका मतलब यह है कि आपको हार्मनी पसंद है, एक्सटर्नल इंटरनल हार्मनी पसंद नहीं. अब बाहर लोगों को खुश करके आप खुश हैं, तो फिर कॉन्स्टिपेशन साथ साथ चलेगी. हम साथ हैं. बस ये है, कर लें आप कि आपकी खुशी अगर इम्पोर्टेंट है तो लेट गो करें, और किसी के ऊपर नहीं करना हमने.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Suhas. Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Indrani.
Thank
I
you
am
for having
waiting
me.
to do this in person, in some coffee shop or bar or wherever we happen to meet again.
One day we
But
should.
it's so much fun. And that's exactly what I think we set out to do, just to create awareness that, listen, there is something that's in, within, that needs to be looked at. And that's the message the body gives. It's putting you out of your ease. We're happily in our life every morning, getting up, going on with ease. And then suddenly the disease comes, like a little postman sending you a letter. And when you don't listen to the postman, when you don't pay your bills, the red letter comes. And when the red letter you don't even listen to the red letter, then the guy comes, the collection agent comes up at the door saying, listen, abhi nahi sunana, man, I'm going to deal with you now. So thank you.
तो गाना याद आ रहा है, अभी नहीं कभी नहीं कभी नहीं.
So we should do actually one meetup only with Bollywood songs and the messages there. I love Bollywood. I think it's the most beautiful thing. It just replicates all the drama we do in our life. So thank you so much, Anu. Thank you so much, Indrani.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you everyone for watching us. Such a pleasure, such a joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. All the best. Stay well, all of you. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.